Alright, hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Guild Wars 2 Mythbusters. Now with extra crazy cheesy transitions, because who doesn't like those? We're going to start off with an interesting one here to do with the Citadel of Flame. Nearly always call it the Cathedral of Flame. This is that Path 1 has a hidden ending, or like an alternate route, a completely different branch. Kind of a weird idea. Of course, the way most dungeons are set up is that they're kind of a linear story. This isn't personal story where we have different options we can make and go down different branches. These are just dungeons, right? And you either get through them or you don't. Well, in Path 1 of Explorable Mode, you may be more than familiar with this section. It's time-gated area where if you're speedrunning the path, it takes ages and you're really annoyed. You've got to wait for all of these acolytes to spawn so that you can suddenly burn them down. Well, what we're going to do is not kill the acolytes. And through a very long process, as you can see here, this is sped up incredibly quickly, at least 8 times the native speed. They're slowly going to sap the engineer's essence. Now, in most dungeons, this should just cause complete failure, right? Well, not in the Citadel of Flame. Look at that. It actually just continues to progress the dungeon if you fail this. At launch, believe it or not, when dungeons were incredibly hard, when everyone was bad, we were in green gear, we were low-leveled, we thought that PvT was the best thing to run. This actually happened to one of my first groups that ever went through COF, and I proceeded to never see it again until trying it out here. It even comes with its own dialogue. Check this out.
No, Kriya. I'm so sorry. Just give me a minute. All right, we finish the mission. We find what they made Kriya build, and we destroy it. And we skin every Flame Legion in our way. Move out!
And the dungeon will continue. Not as normal either. I did believe for a long time that mechanically the final boss fight would change somehow. You don't have Kriya's expertise with you, and so this would somehow make the boss fight slightly harder. I don't believe that's true, however. Ultimately, you're just going to get to the end. You're going to get a totally different ending cutscene, as you can see here, which I've sped up, and a whole dialogue tree filled with information you would never have had by speaking to the NPC at the very end. Interesting stuff, and pretty unique among the dungeons. Myth confirmed. Myth number 2 is a very popular one that many people have believed in the past, something that even I've been told many times. This is that dual-wield agility speeds up all your animations. So, to keep people in the loop here, Warrior got a new Grandmaster trait a while back that means whenever they're holding a sword, axe, or mace, I believe, in their offhand, this Grandmaster trait will speed up their attack speed by 15%, I believe is the amount. Don't crucify me, I don't mean Warrior. So, we're going to test this out here with dancing. We're going to get everyone in a line. We're all going to do /dance space star. Now, what this will do is synchronize all of your animations. And we'll see, does my warrior eventually become out of time with the other dancers? And the answer is no. This is kind of a funny myth, because apparently when the trait first was added to the game, this was a bug that existed, but was ninja fixed at some point, and is still widely believed to be true. No, you do not dance quicker, you do not do anything quicker necessarily. Dual-wield agility will only increase your attack animations, and that is all. Myth busted. Myth number 3 is that having your level scaled will break your mantras. So again, to keep everybody in the loop, mantras are a skill that Mesmers can use. They channel them, which will take a little while. You can see me equipping some onto my utilities here. And once they are channeled, they appear as active effects above your skill bar. So here you can see I have got 3 channeled because of a Grandmaster trait we've chosen. Now this will only work if you take the Grandmaster that knocks you up to having 3 charges on a mantra rather than the default, which is just 2. And here we're in Twilight Arbor, and as you guys know, when you enter this dungeon you'll see we are scaled below level 80, but the second you walk into Twilight Arbor Aether Path, you will automatically be bumped up to level 80. And the second this happens, oh look, it does in fact strip your Grandmaster trait away for a very brief moment. So this would suggest that every time out in the open world that you are level scaled in some way, from level 15 to 16, whatever, it's breaking all of your traits or active effects and then quietly reapplying them. And in the case of the mantras, incorrectly. Misconfirmed. Alright, myth number 4 is that water attunement will break Aegis. There is absolutely no logic to this whatsoever. It's just a weird idea. Here we're going to swap the water achievement, and as you'll see there, it in fact does happen. A massive issue, really, if you think about it, from PvP balance, which is obviously what most of Guild Wars 2 is balanced on. It seems that when you attune to water, it pulses out some invisible damage to everyone around you, and this will break Aegis. Some people will tell you that this only works if you trait into water magic, namely you take at least 3 points in for the second minor. That's untrue. At any point, attuning to water achievement will break Aegis off of nearby opponents. Myth confirmed. And another crazy mechanical one right here. We've got Golem Mastery. Can actually affect elite summoned golems, so the description there isn't too good, but what we're talking about here is if you play as an Asuran character, you have the elite skill that allows you to summon a golem you or your allies can ride in. Now, also in World vs. World is a new World vs. World trait line, which enables you to get various passives from riding around in golems, including an ejection seat that we're going to test out here. So I found some very friendly centaurs who will help me beat me up. And if this works, in theory, when we go to low health, we should be ejected safely at 100% health. Really a mechanic I think this elite skill should have by default. Unfortunately, this one is a load of old arse. It's not true, as cool as it might have been. ArenaNet blocked this one off. Mythbusters. And finally for today, is myth number 6, that you can actually affect the lightning hammer's leap with your camera. This is the idea that skills that move you through the air are not static, but in fact can be influenced with where your camera is held. Think about if you are auto-attacking, for example, on an Elementalist with your staff with no target. Where you hold the camera will actually influence where your projectiles go. So can the same be said for these kinds of abilities? Will you get more air? Can you get further distances? Can you break out of maps in simply by how you hold your camera with the lightning hammer? So here to test this out very scientifically, we're dropping a fiery greatsword where we started and an earth shield where we landed. So now we have our exact distance that we know it goes from looking directly down at the floor. So this was the distance we achieved from looking down. Now let's try using the skill while looking directly up. Oh wow, look at that. We only went half as far. That is a significant difference. Now, of course, this will depend entirely on terrain, and different skills like Warrior Sword 2 doesn't function the same way, but this is something to keep in mind if you want to do some cool trick jumps, maybe do some impressive things. Myth confirmed. Well, that's about it for this week, guys. I hope you found something in here interesting. Let me know in the comments if you've got any myths you'd like to see busted. I'm going to start working through your submitted ones pretty soon as my list whittles down. I hope you enjoyed, guys, and I guess I'll see you next time.